Welcome to all of you for the Saturday evening program. We are studying from the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We completed the first part of the 7th chapter. How hearing is very, very important. Shabda Praman, hearing from the authorized scripture, is the bona fide path for gaining spiritual knowledge. So we discussed there are three ways of gaining knowledge. The first way of gaining knowledge is Pratyaksha Praman, where people challenge, if I only see God, then I will accept Him, otherwise I don't believe in the existence of God. So that has too many limitations because that logic where only when I actually see through my eyes, smell through my nose, taste through my tongue, hear through my ears, then only I will be able to believe in, has many limitations because in this world, even material objects, yeah, are not in the within the ecosystem where we can grasp. Many material energies are beyond our perception. We discussed about that last week. When material energies within this world is beyond our perception, but we believe in it, we assume and we actually start working on it to obtain desired outcomes. Similarly, we need to have we need to actually rely on, just like an electrical engineer depends on the book written by B.L. Tereja, even though B.L. Tereja has not touched, has not seen electric current, but he has experienced it over the period of time doing so many experiments. Similarly, we actually take into the Shabda Praman even in the spiritual knowledge. Gaining the spiritual knowledge is similar to gaining material knowledge as well. Just like gaining the material knowledge requires a bona fide teachers who actually teach us, and we depend on the knowledge which is given in the textbooks. Similarly, spiritual knowledge also we require bona fide teachers through Shabda Praman. Hence, the Pratyaksha Praman has a limitation. Then Anumana Praman has a limitation. Shabda Praman is the only way through which Shabda Praman having assessed through the Pratyaksha and Anumana integrated. See, integrated Shabda Praman with Anumana and Pratyaksha can actually lead one to gaining spiritual knowledge. We discussed about that, how hearing is very important. That's why Krishna elaborately explains Tatshunu, now here. Yeah. The second part of the 7th chapter is all about experiencing God, His presence everywhere. How Lord is present everywhere, Lord actually explains that more elaborately in 10th chapter, but Lord Krishna summarizes in the 7th chapter between the verses 4th to 12th verses. Yeah, so we are going to discuss about it today. भूमिरपोर्नलो वायु कम्मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहंकार इतीयं मे भिन्न प्रकृतिमष्टधा. Translation: Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego, all together, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. Bhumirapo nalo vayu kam mano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyam me binna prakriti mashtada. So Lord Krishna here is actually explaining about his external energy. So Lord is trying to explain in the second session of the 7th chapter is on how he is present in the various energies of this world through exploring through which we will be able to, feel the presence of Lord. Yeah. So Bhumi Rapor Nalova, you come Buddhi Revachas. What are the five elements? First five elements is Bhumi, earth, Apaha, water, Analaha, fire, Vayuhu, air, Kam, ether, Mana, mind, Buddhi, intelligence, Ahankara, false ego. So first five elements is earth, water, air, fire and ether. Yeah. So it's very, very important for us to understand how these five elements constitutes our gross body. Earth, water, fire, air and ether. As we are actually looking into the presence of, if you see the earth, then water, then fire, air and ether, the subtlety of these material elements are actually decreasing. Lighter than earth is water, lighter than water is fire, lighter than fire is air, lighter than air is ether. So as we try to see presence of Krishna in each of these elements, we would be able to understand how this five element that constitutes our gross body and as well as the entire material world where we see presence of earth, presence of water, presence of fire, presence of air and ether. If we are able to train ourselves to see presence of Krishna, this is the first step towards spiritual realization. How can we see presence of Krishna in the earth constituents of this material world? How can we see the presence of Krishna in the water constituent of this world, fire constituent of this world, air and ether? Please think about it, and if you start introspecting, exploring, you will be able to understand so many miracles of earth, miracles of water, miracles of fire, air and ether that is present in this nature, that the scientists over the decades and centuries have been experimenting to find out more and more insights about things we are not in control. We think we are all in control. We all like to be in control. But most of the things are beyond our control. We are only exploring, we are discovering, we are not creating anything in this world. So it's very, very important. Krishna is summarizing this five constituents, five elements, basic elements that actually constitutes our gross body. And he says they are my separated material energies. What does the separated material energy means? Very, very important for us to understand. Even though they are separated material energy, but they are still under the control of Lord Krishna. How is that? Just like sun, cloud is a separated material energy from sun. For example, in the sky, you see that the clouds are forming. You see that so many things in the sky are forming. From sky comes the rain. From sky comes the snow falling. From sky comes the storms. When we see the turbulences in the sky, how far is those turbulences from the Earth planet? It is maximum up to 100 or 200 kilometers. But sun is situated millions and billions of kilometers away from the Earth planet. But if you see the existence of all this, the turbulences that is taking place in the cloud formation is due to sun. When the cloud are formed, a person can say that I am not able to see sun, but that doesn't mean the sun is not existing. The thing is the localized covering of the cloud from the eyes of the viewer from the sun doesn't mean the sun doesn't exist. We have a limited perception. Our limited perception cannot be concluded with non-existence of the sun. Hence, it is very, very important for us to understand who created the cloud. Sun only created the cloud. Is sun under the influence of the cloud? No. Is sun under the influence of the cloud? Absolutely not. Similarly, who created the material energy? Lord Krishna. Is Lord Krishna under the control of material energy? No. Does Lord Krishna come to this earth planet to enjoy this material energy? No. He may appear in the view of the atheistic people that Lord Krishna is also under the control of Maya. He is not under the control of Maya. He may appear so to perform his pastimes to attract devotees and confuse atheistic people. Even Lord Krishna living this world, though he appeared to leave his body, but Lord Krishna went back to his spiritual abode along with his spiritual body. So we need to understand, we leave the gross body. Lord Krishna doesn't have a gross body. Lord Satchidananda Vigraha, Ishvaraha Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha. Lord Krishna's body, Lord Krishna's Atma are non-different. Satchidananda Vigraha. Why we call as Satchidananda Vigraha? We cannot call the material bodies as Satchidananda Vigraha. We call Krishna as Satchidananda Vigraha because his spiritual, his body and his Atma absolutely no difference. Hence, it is very, very important for us to understand Lord Krishna is seated in each and everyone's heart as Paramatma, but Lord Krishna himself, his Vigraha, which is his external body, and himself are non-different. So we need to understand Lord Krishna, just like the sun is never influenced by the cloud, similarly Lord Krishna is never influenced by the energies of this world, although he comes to this world. Very, very important concept for us to understand. So as I said, we are the living entities, Baddha Jivas. We have gross body. Our gross body is made up of earth, water, fire, air and ether. Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayuhu. Then we have a subtle body as well, which is more subtler than the ether, more lighter than the ether. Mind is more lighter than the ether. For intelligence is more lighter than the mind. Ego is more subtler and lighter than the intelligence. As the subtlety increases, we become completely captured by the influence of how Lord Krishna through his material energy is manipulating us. That is the wonder of this world. Because many, many things are happening in this world. Everyone are planning, from a poorest of the poorest man in this world to the richest of the richest individual. Everyone have a plan, everyone have a goal, everyone have desire, everyone want to achieve something, and everyone knows that I may not live tomorrow. But still, everyone are playing around, playing with the energies of this world with a desire to achieve something. This is called the Maya. So, very, very important for us to understand is we are made up of the gross body, Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, the entire gross body which appears in front of us, including the senses, knowledge gaining senses, working senses, sensual objects, all these are constituted with the Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayu. And we have mind, intelligence and false ego, subtler body which are actually exploiting the gross body. And then comes the soul which is sitting within the capsule of the subtle body, and the subtle body is sitting within the covering of the gross body. This constitutes our material body. Soul is the driver within this material body, and soul thinks that it wants to enjoy eternally. Nature of the spiritual soul is Sat Chit Ananda. It is looking for a permanent place. It is having an unlimited intelligence. It wants to have an eternal, unbreakable, continuous pleasure. But it is being put into the subtle body and the gross body which has limitation. Just for example, if an Indian cricket team goes to, the WACA, that is the Perth, stadium in Australia. Indian cricket team, Indian players are used to playing, pitch where the ball comes slow, they would be able to hit the ball anywhere. But as soon as they move into WACA, the Perth, it is a bouncy pitch. Most of the Indian players need to adjust. They may not be able to hit according to their will and fancies. Though they want to hit everywhere, but the pitch itself is such that they will not be able to play. They need to adjust. Similarly, the soul, when it was in the spiritual world, it had a spiritual body which was absolutely in sync with the desires of the soul. But as soon as it comes down to this material world, it is within this material body has a limitation. Very, very important for us to understand. Hence, even though the soul thinks I am enjoying, but actually it is in an illusion. So we need to understand why Krishna has created this arrangement for us. We will discuss in the future verses. Yeah. So hope you have understood these 8 elements that constitutes our material body. Yeah. Now I am going to give much more detailed analysis of this. So how this material world is constituted? Material world is constituted out of 26 elements. First 5 elements is Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, earth, water, fire, air and ether. Then we have 5 objects of the senses that comes out of these 5 interaction with these 5 gross elements. For example, earth. The 5 objects of senses is Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa and Gandha. The sound. Earth, we are able to, are we not able to, grasp it, presence of the earth through sound? Yes. Touch, we can touch. Form, we can see the form. Taste, we can taste. See all the fruits, all the trees, all what we eat in today's vegetables are all form of earth. Yeah, it is form of earth. We taste. Day in and out, day out we taste. Smell, earth element has a smell. So, earth is more grosser, it is more near to us. Why it is more near to us? All the 5 sense knowledge gathering senses is able to see the presence of earth. Then comes water. Water is much more lighter than earth. We can hear, sound, touch, we can feel, form, yes, taste, yes, Raso ahamapsu kaunteya, Krishna says, I am the taste in water. Smell, it doesn't have a smell. So see, now one of the smell, nose, has no presence in the water element. Yeah? When we get into fire, fire is much lighter than water, much subtler than water, and again, we can, sound has a presence, touch has a presence, form has a presence, but taste and smell has no presence at all. Air, sound has a presence, touch we can feel the air, but we cannot see the, air has no form, air has no taste, air has no smell. When earth travels through air, we can smell. You are able to get?
Smoke also we can see.
Yeah? Smoke when earth travels through fire, we can smell. You are getting what I mean? Earth we can smell, fire we cannot smell. Fire element doesn't have smell. Yeah? So, air also, sound and touch is there, form, taste and smell are not there. Ether only has a space, that's all. Absolutely doesn't have any other objects. How the sound is? When the sound travels through the space, we can hear. Ether, we can feel, we can hear through the presence of ether itself doesn't have vacuum. The five knowledge gathering senses, which actually through the interaction through the five great elements and the five objects of the senses, seeing through possibilities, eyes, hearing through ears, smelling through nose, tasting through tongue, feeling through touch. Five objects gives rise to five knowledge gathering senses. Now it forms 15 elements. Now we have five working senses. Speech, yeah, voice, legs, hands, anus and genitals. It forms 20 elements. Then we have subtle elements, mind, intelligence, false ego, it forms 23 elements, and three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, ignorance, forms 26 elements. This is the constituents of material world. Material world is formed through the interaction of these 26 elements. Very, very important for us to understand. And the time is the energy which plays above the material, this entire material constitutes, which gives rise to what we call as the Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshana Darshani. Yeah. Then next verse. Apareyam itasva anyam prakriti vidhi me param jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam daryate jagat. So Krishna is saying, besides this, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mine which comprises of living entities. Krishna is telling living entities, jivas, we are all Atma, the jivas, which is the superior energy of mind, which are exploiting the resources of this material world, which is inferior energy, inferior nature. So Krishna is now telling Apareyam Itaspanyam, don't think that this is all in all. Most of the atheistic scientists think that Bhumi Rapo Nalovayu Kam Manobuddhirevacha Ahankara iti me Binna Prakriti Mashtada. These five things, 5 plus 3, what I am saying is actually what all in all. But Krishna explains there is beyond it. There is another superior energy which is the soul living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material world of inferior nature. Very, very important for us to understand. Krishna is bringing us to a point that what our today's conditioned nature is to exploit. Everyone wants to exploit in this world. We all want to be controlling, right? How many of us really want to be controlled? So everyone in this world, we want to control than being controlled. Why we want to control? We actually are desire of certain outcome and events which should actually result according to our desires. Outcomes should come as per my desire. I want to manipulate the outcome and events according to what actually gives pleasure to me. No one in this world really wants to be in a controlling environment. Even my daughters, they don't want to be controlled. If you tell them exam study, they will immediately say, "Oh, we know when to study." Everyone in this world want a freedom. For example, in the work environment, everyone want a freedom. Anyone want to be controlled? Although the managers are there, no one wants to be told, you do this, do this, do this. They will run away, right? Just on Friday, I had one of my teammates just left the project because someone in the on-site was started controlling, where is it, what has happened to it, is it been done, is it been done. I said, I am not going to manage this project itself. I am leaving today. He cancelled all the calendar invites. He cancelled the meetings for next week. He said, Tata, bye-bye. Everyone want to control. Wife doesn't want to be controlled. Children don't want to be controlled. But please see in the way this entire world has been designed. Krishna is saying the living entities, which are us, are exploiting the inferior energy, which is matter. There is a saying, use things, not people. Right? How many of you heard? Use things, love people. Many people have their different quotes. Yeah? Today's world, what happens is, use people, love things. Yeah? It's the reverse. But use things. Krishna has given us, we all wanted to actually, have a freedom. Yeah. For example, let us take in the work environment itself. Work environment, none of us want to be controlled. Yeah. But if you don't want to be controlled, there is a sense of responsibility. You are all getting what I mean? If we are able to take up that responsibility and drive it, no one will control you. Are you understanding? So if you take a sense of responsibility and take your your objective of your presence in this work environment and understand what is your role and play according to your role, then the controlling ecosystem will decrease. If you are able to take control of yourself and drive and produce outcomes, yeah, then you will have a sense of feeling of freedom. For example, everyone has given freedom to us. Krishna has given the freedom to us. But Krishna is controlling as well. Similarly, in this material world as well, as long as you take the responsibility of playing around to a degree our freedom has been given, Krishna will never intervene in our Krishna will never intervene. Nature will never intervene. Nature mayadhyakshena prakritir suyate sacharacharan. Nature is under the control of Krishna. Krishna will not come into day-to-day affairs of us. Nature will come. Nature will not intervene What does nature will not intervene? Karma has no play. Yeah? For example, you will not get caught by the police if you are following the rules. Similarly, you will not caught by the nature if you are playing under the rules, the law of the lawmaker who is Krishna. But under this law, there is a consciousness with which we need to actually exploit or control in this world. See, for a day before yesterday, or 3 days before, our maid who comes to our house was speaking to us. I was asking our maid, how is your husband? What does he work and all? And she started telling, my husband drinks a lot. He drinks all the time. But he's very, very devoted. Very, very devoted person. He's devotional. I was shocked. Tell me how. She started telling me, Anna, my husband is so devoted that even after taking 4 quarters, when he comes back home, he will be traveling so steady. You understand steady means? He will be walking so steadily. Even the rangolis, rangoli means, all the, people in front of their houses, they put rangoli. Even the rangoli comes, he doesn't put his feet on the rangoli. Very, very devotional. He comes home, he's very conscious of it. He doesn't touch any rangoli. So in control. Everyone want to control. Yeah? They like someone who is controlling. See, he is able to exploit material nature. Aparayam itaswanyam prakritim viddhime param. He is able to exploit. He is our leader. Everyone. If someone is able to exploit and take control, he becomes our leader. For example, a girl becomes completely fida for a boy. If the boy says, 1.5 lakhs, just give it away. Here you go, 1.5 lakhs. Girl will faint. You are my boy, dream boy. You get what I mean? Someone is in control of fame. If someone is traveling outside and if 50 people come out, fida. For example, few days back, one of the spiritual leader had come to our house 3 years back. And he left. As soon as he left, neighbors and all, they came out and started taking the, photo of him. And even the spiritual followers, I was getting shocked because no one wants to actually see the deities doing the flower abhishek. Everyone were going behind him. You get what I mean? If someone is able to take control of the fame, we become fida. You get what I mean? So, if you are able to control material energy, they are our leaders. Are you able to get? Today, who is our leader? One is able to control the material energy very well. But in today's world, unfortunately, even the matter is controlling us. We are not controlling the matter. There was a time when phone was connected to the wire. Phone was attached to the wire, stagnant somewhere, people were free. Today, people are attached to and phone is free. Today, that is what has happened in today's world. So, something which the utility which we could control today, it is controlling us. Everyone starts, drinks, it's okay, yaar. Fashion drink is okay. Fashion drink is okay, what is the problem? Drink, it's a socializing. But ultimately, it takes control of us. Without even we are aware of it. That's why Prahlad Maharaj says, 5-year-old boy said, my father thought he is controlling the entire world. But ultimately, world was controlling him without his aware. He was thinking that he is the controller of everything. Even though Indra was under his control, he was not satisfied. Why he was not satisfied? Because he wanted to control more. There was nothing more to control. When his own son was not under the control of him, he became infuriated. When son said, I am in the control of Krishna, Vishnu, he became furious. He said, I want to control Vishnu also. That's when ultimate destruction of Hiranyakashipu took place. Because no one can control Krishna. We can all can be controlled by Krishna if we can take pleasure being controlled by Krishna. That is our goal of human life. Today what is happening is we control things, ultimately things control us. As soon as we control things, that is doesn't end there, we control people. We extrapolate our habituated conditioning of our controlling things towards people. But ultimately, if everyone actually controls under certain conscious responsibility, that is all perfectly fine. If the conscious responsibility is not there in doing the control, we will become stressed out completely. People get into depression. Why? They want to derive satisfaction, derive and joy, derive happiness by controlling, but controlling not possible. It boomerangs us. We ultimately become depressed, stressed out. You all with me? Everyone wants to derive satisfaction, happiness out of controlling someone. But it doesn't happen in today's world. It never has happened. In the material world, we are supposed to be responsible controllers, regulated controllers. So this responsible controllers, regulated controllers only comes under the direction of Bhagavad Gita. It's very, very important for us to understand. Regulated controlling, how we can actually achieve the regulated controlling? Regulated controlling is only possible when we exploit the material energy for not our pleasure, for the pleasure of Krishna. Because ultimately, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Gnatva Mam Shanti Rachati. Ultimately, Bhokta is Krishna. Yajna tapasam, whatever we do, yajna tapas in this world, Bhokta is Krishna, the 5th chapter, last verse. Krishna ended karma yoga with that. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam, all the yajna and tapas, Bhokta, the enjoyer, is Krishna. I am the enjoyed. Though Krishna says, I am the superior energy, exploiting the inferior energy, but still in front of Krishna, I am the inferior energy. What does it mean? I am also meant to be controlled by Krishna. Gopis wanted to be controlled by Krishna. Gopals wanted to be controlled by Krishna. Yashoda wanted to be controlled by Krishna. Whenever she wanted to control Krishna, she was stressed out completely. That's where Kartik Damodar Leela comes in. Yeah? Entire Damodar Leela, which is when Yashoda wanted to control Krishna, and she was completely, that was a pastime which Krishna wanted to show into the entire world, where Yashoda wanted to bind Krishna with rope, yeah, which she couldn't able to do. Hence, it is very, very important that although superior energy, we are controlling the inferior energy matter, but still in front of Krishna, we are all being controlled, we are not the controllers. This comes to the 7.6th verse. Etad yonini bhutani sarvani iti upadaraya aham krishnasya jagata prabhava pralayastata. Etad yonini bhutani. Yoni means the source. Mother is called the yoni. Why? She is the source for giving birth to the baby. Yeah? Etad yonini bhutani. The source of birth. What is the source of birth? Material energy and the inferior superior energy. The jivatma and the material energy, bhumi, rapo, nala, vayu. The 8 separated energies which was spoken in 4th verse, 5th verse, Krishna introduced the superior energy, jiva, but they are still the inferior energy to Krishna. Yeah? So, these two, etad yonini bhutani, sarvani upadharaya. All created beings have their source in these two natures. We are all created in this world. We have the source in these two natures. We have gross body, we have subtle body, which is also bhumi, rapo, nalo, vayu, kammano, buddhi, revacha. It constitutes of 5 elements and 3 subtle elements. So, and the jiva also. Yeah, these two sources. Of all that is material and all that is spiritual. Krishna is saying spiritual is what? We are all the spiritual. We are spiritual in nature. Material is the entire material world, Prakriti. Know that for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution. Aham sarvasya prabho matas sarvam pravartate. I am the origin of all and the dissolution. Annihilation also, pralaya. Yeah, for example, husband brings money to the he creates certain luxuries in the home. If children do not utilize the luxuries with responsibility, the father can take away the luxury. You get what I mean? You are understanding? If the children are not utilizing the luxuries according to a sense of responsibility, the father can take it out. That is called annihilation. Krishna can annihilate the facilities given to us. Krishna can create the facilities that is given to us based upon our sense of responsibility. This sense of responsibility is given by Bhagavad Gita. Hence, it is very, very important to understand this entire science of Bhagavad Gita, where what is in our control we need to understand very, very clearly. Ultimately, who is the controller of everything? Krishna. If we all work under the direction of Krishna, we would be able to live this life happily. Happy, healthy and holy. Yeah? So if we try to, unregulated enjoyment, if we try to do it, beyond the bona fide circle that is given by the, Bhagavad Gita, education from the Bhagavad Gita, will become the source of all casualties, suffering in this world. So, hence, Bhagavad Gita gives us the knowledge to how to lead a life healthily, happy and holy. Very, very important for us to understand. So, I stop here. Hare Krishna.